If your Palworld server is lagging, rubber banding, or just feels sluggish after a few hours of play, you're not imagining it. And it's probably not your internet. There are a handful of settings you can tweak right now that makes a real difference, so let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, All Things Hosting. If this video helps you out, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest server hosting news. First things first, schedule automatic restarts. Palworld has a known memory leak problem. The longer your server runs without a restart, the more RAM it chews through, and eventually performance just tanks. The fix is simple. Set your server to automatically restart every 8 to 12 hours. Most control panels let you set this up under task scheduling. It keeps memory usage in check and your tick rate stable. Honestly, this one change alone fixes a lot of the "why is my server fine at first but awful after a few hours" complaints. Second, tweak your Engine.ini file. This one comes straight from the community and it's been confirmed across a bunch of server guides. Navigate to your server files and find the Engine.ini. You can find it in this folder here. At the bottom of the file, add these two lines. The default tick rate is way too low, and bumping it up to 120 is what reduces that rubber banding and desync you get when multiple players are moving around at once. Just a heads up, this does increase CPU usage a bit, so if you're on a lower end plan, keep an eye on your resource usage after applying it. Third, optimize your PalWorldSettings.ini. This is where you can cut a lot of unnecessary server load. Find the file at this location on screen, and make sure your server is fully stopped before editing, otherwise the changes won't save. Here are the settings that are worth changing. Drop item max num from the default 3000 down to around 800. Items sitting on the ground are constantly being tracked by the server, so fewer items means less overhead. Drop item alive max hours from 1.0 to 0.5, so items clean up faster. The next one is big. Set B enable invader enemy to false. Raids are one of the heaviest events the server has to process, spawning a ton of enemies with active AI and physics all at once. Disabling them has a noticeable impact on stability, especially on smaller plans. Alternatively, if you enjoy having raids on your base, you can set build object damage rate to 0 to disable damage to your structures and protect your server performance during raids. And if your base workers are maxed out, dropping base camp worker max num from 15 down to 10 helps too. The more pals actively doing tasks simultaneously, the harder the server works. Last one is keep things tidy in-game. Encourage your players to build compact bases rather than massive sprawling ones. The more objects, automated workbenches, and storage systems running in parallel, the more stress it puts on the server, especially in areas where the automation and combat are overlapping. It's not glamorous advice, but it genuinely matters. So just to recap, scheduling restarts, modifying some Engine.ini settings, cleaning up your settings files, and sensible bases. Do all four and you'll feel the difference. Now, if all of this sounds like a lot to manage, the file editing, the restarts, the config tweaking, this is actually where your host makes a big difference. With Pine Hosting, their custom easy config panel exposes high impact settings like spawn density, player caps, and drop rates as simple sliders and drop-downs, so you're not manually hunting through a config file for the right line. The file manager is right there in the panel for the Engine.ini changes, and their advanced scheduling feature is exactly what you'd use to set up those automatic restarts every 8 to 12 hours. No third-party tools needed. Their support team also knows Palworld tuning specifically, so if you're not sure what values make sense for your player count and hardware, you can just ask them. They've got a whole knowledge base dedicated to Palworld setup too. If you want to give Pine a chance, my code ATH gets you 30% off your first month at the link in the description. Are you still experiencing lag after these tweaks? What game do you want me to cover next? Let me know in the comments, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.